What's up, y'all? Hit the like button, share, subscribe. You know the deal. All right, we'll get into this. So, apparently, Hassan Campbell took another shot at Kwame or whatever. I guess he didn't learn his lesson, or maybe, he wants to keep the views up because now it seems to be a thing. Like if you mention Kwame, you're gonna have the views or whatever. Um, so he says, coding in the hood ain't gonna do nothing.
Read some books, seek help. Because I'm going to tell y'all something. For those of y'all that's watching me, that coding bullshit ain't going to work for everybody in the hood, especially when you got mental health issues. And see, that's the thing that everybody want to overlook in the hood. The hood is filled with people that has mental health issues. Coding ain't going to fix that. The hood needs healing. You can't just give a dude a hug.
You can see it every day. There's a lot of people battling a lot of things. PSTD. They're battling things that they might have encountered in jail. They might be battling, you know, witnessing family members dying in the streets. It could be a number of things that they need help for. So he is not wrong for that. As far as the coding thing, I touched on this before, where I strongly believe, and I always advocate. There's no one size fit all solution to our problems, and I get where Kwame is going with the coding thing, so I definitely won't put down the coding. All I say is, don't sit there and say we need to do this and we need to do that. We need to put the coding. We need to do the trades, whatever, because not everybody's fit for that. I said in another video too. I came up in trades. I've been out of high school for a while, so I don't know what the deal is, and I don't know across the country. All I know is, here in New York, you had different high schools that specialized in different things. You had high schools for the sciences. You had high school for building trades. You had high schools for cosmetics or whatever. Not too far from where I went to high school, there was Jane Addams, where you had cosmetology and different things that they taught. Excuse me. My school was Alfred E. Smith, and I there was building trades there. There was automotive there. Carpentry, electrical, plumbing. Um, the works. They might have added some programs since I've left. I'm not sure. Um, but basically, my dealings with that comes off on my own experience because like I said, I was good and I was in programs that could help me get jobs, and it still didn't work out for whatever reason. But I say that to say that everybody has a different plan, a different path, and the path I've chosen, years later, finally found it. It's been working for me better than what I said, because I was that one that said I didn't even. I mean, I've always done well in school, but I didn't. I had no thoughts of going to college at first. I never had. I was like, I'm gonna go to college for. I don't even like school. Yeah, I do good in school, but I don't even like school. I'm gonna sit there and continue in this trade. You trades make money, and that's the main thing that people say when it comes to that. It's always this field makes money. This field makes money. Whatever. Yeah, that's true, but is it a field that you like? Don't go into it just because it makes money. I've always, and that's what I said too. Once I did make the decision to go to college, I said, well, if I go to college, I'm going to sit there and do something that I want to do. I'm not going to do something just because it makes money, because that field is highly marketable. Because I could still be making that money and still be miserable, still hate my job. Yeah, but I'm making tons of money. But I mean, just making money doesn't make you satisfied. So that's my take on that. But Hassan Campbell was going a different route with, the fact that, coding won't do nothing because, it's not gonna help kids get out the hood and so on and so forth. And then that's not true. It could help kids get out the hood, and but the also the thing that you have to keep in mind is that you shouldn't just think about just getting out the hood. You should think about getting out, doing a thing, creating a generational wealth and things like that, and coming back to help other do the same that you did. Don't sit there and get out the hood and be scared to come back to the hood. You know what I'm saying? Because then the hood is still the hood. The hood doesn't even have to be the hood. And if you know what I mean. You know what I'm saying? Because the hood has the dogma or whatever. And hood is just short for neighborhood. But we always had, we know, when we say the hood, we know what hood means. It's the rule, it's not the rule, the roughest, toughest, most urban areas. That's considered the hood. And we don't have to just get out. It shouldn't be just the goal to get out. It should be the goal to get out and then come back and help each one teach one. That's also what will help get this crime down, because a lot of people concern themselves with crime, but if you're really concerned, are you making any kind of effort, even if it's just donating to an organization that fights against it, because there are organizations that fight against crime. There are. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's a simple Google search. It's a simple Google search. There are organizations out there. Do that. Do that, and don't just encourage trades and coding and whatever else you might say, and don't discourage kids from becoming doctors and lawyers and judges, council members, assembly members, policy makers. That's what I'm getting my MPA in public policy and administration. So I can sit there and have a hand in constructing policies that affect our everyday lives. A lot of people don't even really know that, sometimes it's not even a law. Sometimes policies become law, but sometimes it's not even a law that affects your life. It's a simple policy that somebody's sitting there creating. We need people that's going to sit there and represent you. You can't sit there and do things without having some kind of foot in the system. I played a clip in my last video where Carcino was talking about paying attention to your local elections. If you look at a lot of my older videos, I advocate that. That's what I sit there and say all the time. People always pay attention to the presidential election. That's all they care about. President is on the federal level. There's things that, yes, affect us from the federal level, but there's a lot of things that don't trickle down to us. There's a lot of things that we're more affected by on the local level, and that's what people don't pay attention to. Local elections always have a low turnout, especially primaries. And these are the very people that could probably sit there and help you get where you want to get, but you don't pay attention. And the people that's in there already are the people that's holding you back, and you don't even know. You can sit there and band together with other voters and get them out, but they're not going to get out if there's not a high turnout rate. That's how a lot of people, you think a lot of people have their seats for a long freaking time. And it's not because they're such a good politician. It's because people don't come out for the local elections. That's how they stay in for so long. It's not because they're good, they're doing something for the neighborhood. It's because the people that they're really affecting don't come out and vote. And the ones that do vote, they like that familiar name. So it may not even be benefiting them, but they still like that familiar name because you have those diehard voters who vote down the line Democratic. They don't care what the name is, Democratic. So then when they come across a name that they've seen for many years, oh yeah, I know that name. Let me go. I don't know that person. Let me not vote for it. Instead of sitting there looking up who that person is and what they stand for and what their policies are and going for that. And then once you find out that if that person gets in, you put fire under their feet to make sure they stand by what they stood on their platform and the policies that they said they was going to sit there and implement. But a lot of people don't want to pay attention to that. A lot of people don't want to pay attention to that. So with the back to the coding thing, we have a lot of things that the youth need to learn, and that's one of them. That's one of the ways to keep the youth out of the freaking streets so that they're not killing. Because if you sit there and turn on the TV and you hear a lot about these killings, most of these killings are by these young people. These young gangsters are out of control nowadays. They have no code, no morals. They just sitting there shooting just for a rep. I think I seen a headline at my job. I was when you click on Internet Explorer, it comes up on MSN News or whatever. So I think I saw a headline where they have a video of this young teenage kid sitting there shooting a guy on a city bike, point blank range. For what reason, I don't freaking know. But it's got to stop, man, and it can. And it can. And sending them to jail and having more cops, it's not working. If that was the case, then things would be subsiding. But it either stays the same or it gets worse. So I think that's a clear indication that the way they've been going about it is not working. It's not working. Okay. Another thing I want to touch on is I have this phrase. Nobody sits there and steals it from me. I don't have it. Well, I have this phrase that I like to go over with logic over emotions. I love to stand by that. I don't always do it because there's been times I sat there and had emotions over logic and I regretted it. And that's mainly why I advocated, because I know when you sit there and you go the route of emotions over logic, you do stupid things that you regret, and it might be life changing, it might be a lesson learned, but I try my best because I'm only human. I make mistakes. I try my best not to do the emotions over logic thing. So you have yeah, forgive me, I forget these names. Richard Sherman, NFL player. He's in the headlines now. He's had a dispute with his I think it's supposed to be ex-wife now. It wasn't particularly with her. She was at her family's house, as from what I understand, and he was drunk and belligerent, and he even got into an accident and things like that. So he apparently got arrested. He is being held with no bail, and he's being charged with I think burglary, assault, domestic dispute, violence, or however you want to put it. Even though he didn't, well, he actually, I believe he fought the uncle. He fought the uncle, and he sat there and got charged with the burglary because he was trying to break down the door. I don't know how that equates to burglary if you actually didn't really steal anything, but different states have different laws, and that's part of the law, I believe, that if you try to break down a door, then it's attempted burglary or something like that. I seriously doubt his intent was to steal something. So I think it's a crazy charge, but that's what it is.
Come through, bitch! Come through! Come through! Come through! Come through! Come through, right? Come through! Come through! Come through! Come through! Come through! Come through, right? Come through! Come through! Come through! I don't give a fuck about what you're saying. Just move the door. I see Q from behind the door. Come through. That shit real cute.
And I wanted to talk about that on the aspect of that. It's easier said than done, but we have to sit there and try to, withhold our emotions. And trust me, I know it's easier said than done, and especially when you're a star, because you're under scrutiny all the freaking time. Even though I feel they shouldn't be under scrutiny, because you're still a human, whether you're a star or not. And we shouldn't be privy to whatever's going on in their personal life. That's their personal life. Some people say, well, that's what you have. That's what happens when you're in the spotlight. So what? So what? He chose. He worked to become an athlete, to become an NFL player. People work to sit there and become an actor, become a musician, whatever it might be. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't mean that you have to be under some microscope. That's only because American culture allows it. And we're so wrapped up into what celebrities are doing. So much so that they know celebrities get free stuff. Why? Because they know as soon as that celebrity puts on the thing and y'all see it, y'all want to buy it. So it's nothing for designers to give free stuff to celebrities, because they know they're making that money back. That's how embedded we are into celebrity culture. All it takes, it could be ugly as crap. It could be the ugliest crap, but because a star you like wore it, you want it. It could be something that's totally expensive, ridiculously priced, something you can't even afford, but you'll go out and get it. Why? Because the star wore it, and now it became popular, and you want to be part of the in crowd. We're too wrapped up into celebrity culture. They're still human, and their personal lives should be their personal lives. It shouldn't be leaked out to the world for the world to see. That's an embarrassing moment for him. I'm pretty sure, once he sits there and had time to sober up and think about it, he would have sat there and went about it a different way. Now, not only does he have to deal with that, but he has to deal with the scrutiny because it's leaked out. This video of him banging on the door is going viral. Leave celebrities alone. I know it's not going to be done, and 9 times out of 10, my voice is not going to be heard. Maybe a year or so later, maybe, I don't know, but I'm still going to say it. leave celebrities alone. They're humans just like us. They bleed the same way. They put on the clothes the same way. They breathe the same freaking air. They're not above anybody, and they shouldn't be held to a higher standard. For what? Why? Because they're in the spotlight. They're in the spotlight because you put the spotlight on them. All he wants to do is play ball. All the person wants to do is act in a movie or act on a TV show. All another person wants to do is sit there and make music. All that other stuff, you know, it comes with the territory, yes, but doesn't mean that they're any less human. So let a child choose their path and guide them, mold them, mentor them into that path, whatever path they might choose, as long as it's not in the streets. Just give them something to do. Tell them there's other ways to go around things, or go other ways to go about things. We know it's hard. We know it's hard in the hood, but there's plenty of people that's been in the same streets and they rose up. One example is he's now in Washington D.C., but he was, I met him personally too, and he was in the district I just moved from. Richie Torres, he grew up in Throgs Neck. Now, if you're from the Bronx, you know about Throgs Neck. You know Throgs Neck is pretty rough. Them Throgs Neck projects ain't really nothing to play with. But he rose up out of that, and look, he's sitting there, he's a lawmaker now. And that's just one example. It's not the only example. Plenty of people have done it. It can be done. Yeah, there's a handful, whatever the case may be, but that doesn't mean it can't be you. The street life is nothing to glorify, especially when you know that Junebug and Big Meech and and all these crazy names that they be having. This person, he don't want, he's dead. Then this person has been locked up for years, or he's in and out of jail, or this person, he got to watch his back all the time, or whatever the case may be. So when you know these kind of scenarios with these people, how is that something to glorify? I don't get it. All right. But anyway, I'm going to leave out with that. Remember, like, share, subscribe. If you think somebody else can benefit from my message, share it with them. Copy the link. Whatever you got to do, just help me help other people. And that's all I got to say. Peace.